Welcome back to Careers with STEM Online. I'm excited to be talking today to Dr. Karen Joyce, who is a geospatial scientist at James Cook University. She's also the founder of a STEM-based drones learning program specifically aimed at girls and with amazing educational resource. Fantastic to have you joining us today, Dr. Karen Joyce. Thanks for joining us, Karen.
Thanks for having me.
So tell me about SheMaps, Karen. Why did you start a business when you already had a career as a geospatial scientist and university lecturer?
Started something else because there's always more to do, right? Long story short, we realised that we had a major deficiency of women in the STEM workforce, and that we had this real big issue that young girls are opting out really early. And there's a lot of stereotypes that go on in the STEM workspace, really, or generally in the space, and people deciding whether they belong to that or not. And generally young girls are often thinking that they don't, and the stereotypes around STEM being all about lab coats, goggles, maybe crazy hair and test tubes, and 3D printers and robots. So SheMaps is quite different to that. It's tackling two aspects of diversity. The first thing is diversity in what STEM is. So it's not just about lab coats and test tubes. It's about all different types of science, including geospatial science, which is what I do, mapping stuff. And it's about challenging who it is that can be involved in doing it as well, and really around trying to increase that number up from the mid 20% all the way up to a 50% of females in the STEM workforce.
What a fantastic goal. And I saw during the pandemic, your business was absolutely putting out the most astounding amount of fun content from scientists who were in the field or sharing their experience. Tell us what you were doing throughout that pandemic lockdown time, and what kind of scientists were you sort of looking at and looking for to share those non-stereotypical experiences?
Last year, we actually ran a drone education conference, and that was really targeted at teachers. And so when COVID-19 hit and schools started closing down, we wondered if the experience that we'd had with EduDrone, our drone conference, if we could apply something like that for students and their families at home. And so what we decided to do was to really showcase that diversity that we have in STEM. And we ran a kids online live interactive show called Live in Orbit. So every weekday I would have a new STEMinist or someone that works somewhere in the field of STEM come and talk to our global audience, and we did it all live on Zoom and live on Facebook as well, and have a short presentation of the sort of work that they did, and then lots of Q&A with the kids as well. So heaps and heaps of fun, and just people from all different backgrounds in STEM and all around the world as well. It's awesome.
I love the term STEMinist. Tell me, why is it important for girls to learn about technology?
Well, it's important for everybody to learn about technology, right? And I think it's just like electricity. It's just something that runs through our day-to-day lives. And there's people that use technology and use electricity as well. And so we're consumers. But then there's those that create with and build with, and they're the ones that are the innovators of the future. And people everywhere are using technology, but what we want to make sure is that in the future we have a greater balance of the people who are actually analysing it, working it, and building it as well. Because we know that otherwise we build biases into the technology that gets created, and those biases will benefit a certain part of the community, and often at the expense of the other parts as well. So it's really important to have a really diverse group of people who are part of that creation.
And I can see from your fantastic background that you have there that, you know, when you think about geospatial, you might not be thinking about turtles and reefs and being outdoors and so on. Tell us about this great illustration and what you're hoping to sort of show about geospatial technologies through this project.
Yeah, so thanks for bringing it up. This beautiful illustration by Sarah Davies, who's an illustrator over in Perth. She's working with us on a children's book that will launch in National Science Week this year. Now, the book is all about Droney, who you see up here, who was created by a young girl, Pippa, in a makerspace. And she then travels around Australia on somewhat of like a drone work experience tour. And Droney comes to visit a bunch of other STEMinists around Australia to see the work that they're doing with drones. So she comes to visit me, and I'm up on Heron Reef here, so you can see me just over my shoulder here, flying the drone. And this was inspired actually by a photo that I have of me doing exactly this. It's one of these half shots, but nicely elaborated by Sarah, the illustrator. And so Droney visits me on the Great Barrier Reef, visits a geologist down in Victoria, an Indigenous ranger in Western Australia. We also have a landscape ecologist who works on mine rehabilitation up in the Northern Territory, and a biologist that uses drones to collect whale snot, and then also a professional photographer as well. So lots and lots of fun for Droney in our little children's book that will be coming out in National Science Week.
Fantastic. Well, it sounds like you have absolutely the best job in the world. Where can people go, Karen, to find out more about what you're doing with SheMaps?
SheMaps.com is the easiest way to find us, I guess, but we're also on social media. So SheMaps AU is our handle for both Twitter and Facebook as well, so you can just find us there. We also have a dedicated teachers Facebook group as well, so we've got over 500 teachers, and they're all talking about drones and geospatial within the curriculum as well. So you can look for SheMaps chat on that one, and you'll find us there.
Fantastic. I certainly will. I look forward to seeing you online, and thanks so much again, Karen, for joining us today.